The ruling party, the African National Congress, is holding an emergency meeting this Monday as pressure builds on President Jacob Zuma to step down. The ANC President, Cyril Ramaphosa, has given the strongest indication yet of a possible Zuma exit. CGTN's Rene Carme now reports.
ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa kicked off the Nelson Mandela centenary celebrations in Cape Town at St. George's Cathedral. The church played a major role in South Africa's fight for liberation. He later delivered remarks to thousands of supporters at Cape Town's Grand Parade, the main public square, the iconic site where on February 11, 1990, 28 years to the day, Nelson Mandela stood to address his people for the first time after his release from prison.
And when he spoke, he said, "I speak not as a prophet, but as a humble servant of you, the people." It was here that Madiba declared that our march to freedom was irreversible. And it was here that our freedom struggle got into top gear when Madiba spoke at this very place.
Ramaphosa said the centenary of the birth of Nelson Mandela offered South Africans a new beginning, as the country's government struggles during a period of scandal and economic decline. The ANC president called on South Africans of all races to strive for unity and work together to rid the country of theft and corruption. He encouraged them to make South Africa the country of their dreams, the country that the late Nelson Mandela would have wanted it to be. Ramaphosa said the nation wants closure on the Jacob Zuma transition and what's in the best interest of all South Africans.
Comrades, the successful resolution of this matter has great significant consequences for the country and for the African National Congress. It is therefore important that we should manage these discussions that are currently underway with care and purpose, ensuring that we put the interests of South Africa first, because as we learned from Madiba, what was paramount with Madiba was the unity of our people.
Rene, Carme, CGTN, Cape Town, South Africa.
Well, for the latest on this developing story, we're joined now by CGTN's Angelo Coppola in Johannesburg. Angelo, what's the latest on that ANC meeting that could seal the fate of President Jacob Zuma?
Well, that meeting starts in less than 2 hours in Pretoria. We haven't heard about any last-minute postponements yet, so that's good news for the analysts who are a little concerned about the secrecy of the talks between Ramaphosa and Zuma. We're speaking, as you heard, at that centenary celebration on Sunday. He made the point that they will finalize the transition. That's Mr. Zuma's exit in today's meeting. Whether that means that Mr. Zuma will be recalled today or the NEC will finalize the process to be followed remains unclear. The meeting, of course, could be short, with everyone agreeing on the process and the timing, or long, with Mr. Zuma's supporters and detractors going head-to-head. Either way, we should have some certainty and some closure by the close of that meeting. Carme?
And Angelo, what can you tell us about the demands reportedly being made by President Zuma before stepping down? Do you think they're likely to be honoured?
Well, as you know, Karen, according to analysts, there's every indication from Mr. Zuma that he doesn't plan to go quietly or quickly. And there's widespread speculation, and I must emphasize speculation about his demands. We're led to believe that he wants the state to continue paying for his future legal costs. That's an issue, however, because the High Court just recently judged or made a ruling in that regard, saying that Mr. Zuma would be personally liable and responsible for his own legal costs. But although it was in a different matter, the precedent has been set. It also appears that Mr. Zuma wants the security for himself and his extended family to continue at the same level once he leaves office. There has also been suggestions that he wanted immunity and or amnesty from prosecution, something which Mr. Ramaphosa was quick to point out wasn't his to offer. We don't know for a fact what Zuma's full list of demands were, and we can only speculate, as I've said. But because we now have the special NEC meeting happening in the next couple of hours, it's safe to assume that those talks actually failed and all the demands that were put on the table by Mr. Zuma were actually rejected. Karen?
Okay, well, we should know a lot more in a few hours' time. Thank you very much. That was Angelo Coppola there updating us from Johannesburg.